Okay, we're live. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I couldn't get in here fast enough because I just read that Flower Dragon met Robert Plant. So I was like, quick, I'm hitting go live. All right,
Yeah,
hang on.
that's cool.
That is so cool.
We're,
That's
we're huge Led Zeppelin fans.
huge. I saw them when I was 15 at Madison Square Garden. And of course, Jimmy was my guy. Love Jimmy Page, but I go for guitarists. But that is
Yeah.
so cool. That is so cool. Um, Good for you. So, hi, first of all, hello to Jan. Thank you for coming in and modding. I
Yeah,
see,
thanks, Jan.
appreciate it. I know that you must be exhausted because you did 7 hours yesterday, and I started watching the stream. Thank you, Jan. I started
Thank
watching
you.
the stream and really want to see it. And then I saw you ran into a snag with it, so now we have to wait for it to get sorted out so that we can watch it. Um,
Yeah,
so
thanks, Jan, for saying we sound great. Does my audio sound okay?
yeah, Philip's been having problems, so please let us
Yeah.
know. My lighting is awful. His sound was weird. I have,
Yeah.
I can't even, it's so dark in here in order for me to
But
show up.
I
Um,
was gonna say it's
Hi,
nice to
Hope.
see everybody because I don't think I've been on a stream for over a month. Last month my schedule was kind of wacky, and I know you did a stream with Jan and Mark, so it's nice to see everybody.
Yeah, I know. I was telling Philip that you guys all missed him because we miss Philip when he's not around. Hi, Joanna. So we're just going to say hi to everybody. I mean, hello, Cassidy, and I trust that you will let us know about the sound. And yeah, Cassidy's really good for feedback. Hi, Ren. Hello, Flower Dragon. I know who you are. Hi, Hope. Hi, Lisa. I already said hi to a bunch of people earlier, but we're doing it again. Hi, Corvus. And thank you so much, Ren. You gifted a membership, and Cassidy got it, which we love to see. Thank you.
Yeah.
And is there anybody else in here that was way up here and stopped talking? Um, Lauren, it was in earlier. I don't know if Lauren is still there, but
And also Rebecca just came in.
hi, Rebecca. Did we miss anybody? I know you are. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. I come through as a Hyperion source. Um, hi, Morg. Thank you so much. And yeah, Philip and I have been sitting in here for the last hour just yakking about this topic because it's really interesting. So I hope that you guys find it as interesting. What it is an article that I found on IAI. I think it's IAI.com. I subscribe to them. I pay a monthly fee. And oh, I saw those hearts. I love it when you can see that. That's a new feature. I can see it in the comments, little hearts floating up. So I was reading this article, and it's called. Has anyone tried using the new emojis on the side that pop up? I'm seeing hearts going up. I don't know who's doing that, Morg, but it's and something else happened. Some little
Okay, I haven't seen any of that.
that sucks. And thank you, Corvus. Corvus just gifted a membership. I really appreciate it. And Pook's got it. That's awesome. Yeah, that's the party emoji, Morg. That I can see it happening. Oh, and then there's little faces. This is so cute. I can see it
I
in the
am on
chat.
mobile because that's how I watch the chat. Everybody's telling me to go on mobile, but I don't see it.
I'm seeing it not on mobile. I'm seeing it through the back end of the, YouTube studio.
Oh,
Um,
I see.
so thank you, Corvus. Thank you, Ren. And congratulations to the people who got gifted memberships. That's awesome. And hi, Pooks, if you're in here. I'm assuming Pooks is here. Yes, I loved those Instagram emojis. Hi, Elise. Thank you for coming. Elise is another moderator. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
nice to see you, Elise.
yeah, nice to see you. Um, so tonight we're going to be looking at this article through IAI. I find it a good site. I also see a lot of things through Medium, which we've talked about before. If you go check out IAI, you could think about getting. There you are, Pooks. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
you said you subscribed to it, didn't
I
you?
do. I think it's like $9 a month, and you get access to their articles and videos. I don't think of looking at it all the time. I saw this one and it looked interesting. Mediums spams me with emails showing me all these
Oh,
articles.
like, hey, come back and
No,
check out our stuff.
no, what it's worse. I don't, I never wander away. They just send me daily interesting
Mm.
looking stories. I have so many tabs open of things that I want to read. I don't have that going on. I just saw this particular one. If I go in there, I'll see things that I want. So this article, I'm sorry, I'm gonna sort of kind of get washed out looking because I have to go to this other screen and it does that, unfortunately. My lighting is weird, but let me just go over to this site. And the article is called "The Afterlife Without God: The Great Beyond in a Secular Age," and it's by Paul Bickley, who is head of political engagement at think tank Theos. Now, I'm not going to read the whole article. We're just going to talk about certain talking points in here.
Yeah, it
Um,
was kind of long, but really interesting.
it's
I had never
very,
heard of that website before.
yeah, I'll put the link in our I should have put it in earlier, but I'll put it in later if you want to go and read the whole thing. But what I liked about it was that it has a lot of good talking points and themes, which will come up on. So basically, it starts. I'm just going to paraphrase this. It starts with a woman who lost her 7-year-old daughter to cancer in 2016, and 4 years later, she got to experience encountering her daughter in a virtual reality avatar um, situation through a broadcasting corporation that invited her to come along and be part of a documentary they were making.
Yeah.
And so, you know, what they describe in the article is that it was simultaneously sad and kind of creepy
Because
because
it said it was really realistic and she got really emotional.
yes, I mean, I think that she was, you know, obviously it would be something to be emotional about, and you know, and she was crying and wanting to be so happy to see her, you know, to see her daughter again.
Yeah.
But you have to remember that there was a scripted text for the you know, for the daughter, and I know Philip, you just said something about memories not being able
Yeah.
to be. I'm going to come back over to look at us. We can talk
Well,
about
it
this.
kind of makes you question what exactly it is that you're interacting with because it's not your loved one. It can't be because even though you're interacting with this virtual version of your loved one, there's no way that you can ask, like, do you remember this time that we went to the pool and you skinned your knee or, you know, any of the fun times that you had because those memories aren't there. That consciousness isn't there. It's
Yeah,
a scripted and kind of replicated version of the person that you knew. So
yeah,
it's probably kind of nice to be able to see them and interact with them in like a face-to-face format, but
yeah.
also on the other hand it's kind of sad because it's kind of like a hollow shell
I,
of the person that you knew.
yeah, I think, as I was saying to Philip, I think it would probably be uh, two main reactions to that. One which is sort of horror, like I would never do that, and one where somebody might say, I would do that just for that experience of being able to just see my child again or my loved one again.
Yeah.
I would not like it because, as you said, Philip, it would be so not them. You
Yeah.
know, if you could actually have something, some kind of more meaningful conversation, but with them, but you can't. There's not. They're not inputting any kind um, of memories. Maybe they were able to take certain um,
Like behavioral
events.
traits.
Well, they might have taken certain events like and programmed that in, but it's I'm sure a very kind of naive, very superficial
Yeah.
experience. So I
And
would not like it.
I know I told you it reminds me of those AIs or those video scanners that you can kind of scan an old photo and it makes it move. And you see a lot of videos of, you know, older people or people who have lost loved ones kind of reacting to their loved one moving again and kind of smiling and stuff.
Yeah,
And that's not even an AI that can speak to you. So we're
yeah,
talking about kind of an immersive event with a virtual person. And so it kind of brings up a lot of questions of whether you would do that and you know how you feel about it, and
yeah,
especially when it's somebody who's passed away, because death is something that we all can kind of relate to. Everybody has somebody who's either passed away, or everybody thinks about death themselves, or what will happen after, our
Yeah.
bodies die.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why the title of this live stream is Life, Death, and Transhumanism, because we're going to get into all three of those aspects because they're kind of interwoven.
Well, this article in particular is leading toward the discussing transhumanism because it's about the afterlife, but for people who are not religious. So it goes through, and if you decide to read the whole thing, you'll see this. It takes you through what a lot of people believe in terms of religious, historically, and currently, and interestingly enough, brings up the difference in Christianity between people who sort of believe in this heaven that's somewhere else, and not necessarily, it's maybe like you're an angel kind of thing, and then also what it says in the Bible about it's resurrecting the body, and coming from not being a Christian, I don't understand how that's reconciled between people who are Christian. How do you decide which version of scripture that you're going to go with?
Yeah.
I've mostly only encountered people who talk about heaven and being an angel and reuniting with your family in heaven, as opposed to a situation where you're resurrected, except for my in-laws who are JWs. That's very much, I think, a resurrected sort of situation. But they talk about that in this article, and then they do talk about reincarnation as another position, but then they quickly move on to the atheist position, which is what, again, I believe that's what the author is, and here we have some interesting talking points, because where they're coming from is the belief that if you're an atheist, everything just reduces down to the material atoms, and when you die and your brain dies, that's it, you're gone. It's like
the lights go out.
Yeah, that's it. It's just the nothingness, but there's still this yearning for eternity. And so the way the article leads you forward into thinking about it is, and moving you toward this idea of transhumanism, it's, well, when you think of yourself as an I, like a me, a person, there's got to be something that you could like replicate. And they use some vague language, like, what is it? That you can, some part of you can be transferred, into another platform. And so
by somehow mapping your consciousness, and we'll get into the mapping part a little bit later.
In fact, they that's where they're going with it. And so, and I think that people really, really would like this to be, I think some people would really like this to be true, and that's why they hang on to this very transhumanist perspective. And that's not talking necessarily about augmenting what we have. I mean, I was talking to my mother, who has knee replacements and shoulder replacements and cataract surgery, and we know lots of people that have like different things that augment, plus all of the technology they're coming out with, like just glasses that will help you augment and know more. That's not really what these people are talking about in terms of an afterlife. What it boils down to is being able to take the thing that makes you, and being like a materialist. I don't know what they think that is, if it is the brain, if the two are the same, if the mind is the brain, what are they taking? So right away I have a question there. But the author starts talking about digitizing the brain. And he says, and this is kind of interesting, they, meaning some scientists, have already done this with like a roundworm, which is a very unsophisticated system. Well, I mean, things are relative, but fairly.
And I think the article said the roundworm only has like 302 neurons or something.
Yeah, it's a simple system. But there's there's a project that's called the Blue brain project. I'll put the link in too. Now, this is getting more interesting in terms of, oh, yes, exactly, Morg. Morg just said transhumanism implies at least substance dualism. So, uh, what they're doing with this blue brain project is mapping a rodent mouse brain, and I believe so far, I think it started in 2005, and they've been going for a long time. I think they're financed through some Swiss government or Swiss corporations, and they've mapped, I believe, 1 square millimeter of a mouse brain. So it's tiny.
Probably a very complex process.
It's if you read their FAQs and get in, and they're very good, by the way. If you're interested in knowing about this, it's written for lay people. You don't have to know a lot of information. There's also a really interesting little game that you can play, very, very short. It's because they're talking about the neurons, and they show you what a picture of a real neuron, and then next to it a simulated neuron, which is what they're doing, and you have to choose the one that's real. That was kind of fun, but regardless, it's a lot of work. What the amount of neurons with potential synapses, not all of them have that synapses, but it's like on the size of a head of a pin, is enormous. So having the ability to do this whole, like, they're not looking at ending this anytime soon. This is a long-term project. What is also interesting to somebody who visits the site is the FAQs on what this means for a human brain, because I'm sure they're inundated with questions all the time. I was telling Philip earlier that in order to sort of deflect from all these questions, they put them in the FAQs. And so they tell you outright that they are not doing that. They have no plans to do that. This is not what that project is. But they're going to take this information, and then down the road, somebody else will do the brain. So they don't want people coming to them with, how's the human brain mapping going? All right. But the bottom line is that you're going to end up with something, and this is, I guess, where I have a lot of questions, because I'm assuming they're going to end up with something that is like replicating, and please tell me if you know anything more than I do about this. Like if Philip, like if you wanted to have this done and they had the technology, do they simply recreate your brain? And
well, let me read this comment from Mark. It says, my brain after death should live in a mason jar with nanotech augmentation that keeps me online, and it controls a Swiss bank account forever, but they need to let me practice starting now. That makes me think of The Simpsons with everybody's head in the jar.
No, isn't that Futurama?
I think they also do it on The Simpsons, don't they? They had Nixon's brain, or I could be thinking of Futurama.
I think it's Futurama. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought of. That's so funny, Mark, but they need to let you start practicing now. I love it.
Jan says Futurama.
And hello, Mark. Thank you for coming in. Mark is our other moderator. So
is your question, are they replicating the actual physical brain?
Yeah, well, no, they're not making a they're making, it's digitized. It's something,
Oh, you're talking about mapping the brain.
But how is it going to be you? See,
yeah.
And this is where we come down to the hard problem of consciousness, and which is that there is no evidence, there's no proof that the materialists who think that the mind and the mind somehow comes from matter is true, and it isn't. There's no explanation for that. So, and in the article, they actually do admit to that. They say all of the issues involved in being able to do this, that's not even getting to that problem where they think that it could even happen. And I don't think that this mouse brain project is saying that at all. They're not saying that they are going to be able to have a mouse consciousness at the end of it. They're not going that far. So it's important to clarify on that. But anyway, that's where this article is kind of going in terms of how people without God and that version of eternity uh, can come up with something that works for them. And I think that's why transhumanism is so popular for them. But I know you
So
had a
do you
lot
think,
you wanted to say.
I know you and I talked about this quite a bit, but do you think in the future the science of consciousness and the science of transhumanism are overlapping? I know the article said that when you get into all of these different questions, you get into philosophical questions, you get into scientific questions.
Yeah.
It's almost like to understand the science of consciousness and how that would interface with technology through transhumanism, they kind of have to overlap.
Yeah, I think what has to happen, and this is my personal view, is that people have to start to understand what mind and consciousness is, which is why we talk
Yeah.
about it ad nauseum. And just to clarify, yet again, I think most of you guys probably already have heard this so many times. Hi, Scorpy. You guys have heard this before, that, and I was, again, as usual, having a conversation with my mother earlier because she asked me what our live stream was about, and I said, when you read a lot of these articles, they throw these terms around without defining them. There's Lee. Hi,
Hi,
Lee.
Lee. And hi,
Thank you.
Angela.
Angela
I
was
see
just
Angela got the
gifted.
membership.
Yeah, that's so nice. Hi, Andy. Um, and hi to anybody I missed. I think that some other people came in that I didn't say hi to. So we need to go back and start looking at some of your comments, because I know you guys are. Drink Juice is in here, and I thought somebody else is, but and we want to get to you guys and hear what you have to say. Whoops, hang on, I just lost the screen. So
Yeah, I know earlier we were going to ask, what does everybody in the chat think about the virtual reality of a loved one? If you could replicate somebody that you knew, would you want to interact with somebody in
yeah,
that kind of setting?
yeah, and put the answer to that in. Oh, I should do a poll. I should figure out how to do a poll and put that up. Um,
Yeah, can you?
yeah, I can. Okay, I got to figure out how to do it. Engage with your audience. Um,
I
Start
don't
it.
know. I think I probably would just for the interesting aspect of it, but of
I
course I understand that that's not my loved one.
Yeah, I would not do it for a loved one who's passed. I would play with it for other reasons. Would you use VR to engage with loved one who passed? Okay, I'm
I
sorry.
see at least a few no's, at least
Okay.
four no's.
Okay, so I think ask your community. Okay, I think I just posted it. Um Rebecca, member for 4 months. Awesome. All right. So we'll check back on that. And yeah, no, Andy, it would be not their mind. It would be a fake replica. Like, it wouldn't even probably be very sophisticated.
Right. There would
The
be no personal memories, stuff like that. It would
Yeah.
maybe have some recorded behavioral traits that
Well,
somebody kind of coded in
they
there,
they
but
they might they might include some events, like, let's say,
right.
like,
But not deep recall.
no, you're not going to be able, yeah, you're not going to be able to discuss lots of um associated factors with a birthday party or something that happened in the past.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I can already see it's 69% no. Hi, Kate. So yeah, I'm on the no. And I would play with VR. I like VR. I would play with it for other reasons. I would do other things with people. um and who knows what they're going to come up with, but that would not, yeah, just creepy. Oh man, Ren, Philip and I, before we came in here, we were having a long discussion about Pet Cemetery for that very
Oh yeah.
reason. Yeah. So yeah, it's again, it's a no. It's a no from me. I mean, it wouldn't be dangerous in terms of like Pet Cemetery. It would be creepy. And in fact, the onlookers, the people who witnessed this for the documentary that was made, um, said that it was sad and creepy. Hi, Archetype Zero. Um, Now, okay, so good point. Archetype Zero said no, but from a psychological perspective, it could help with the grief process. Now,
Right.
again, Philip and I were talking before we came in, And we, I think we agree on that point that the grieving process is very personal and people should do what works for them.
Well,
Um,
I see we also wrote humanity needs to learn to integrate grief, boundaries, transition, rest, and separation.
I think that's healthier. Personally, I would teach uh, skills and give knowledge like that we have, because I think it's ultimately the best for understanding our, the different perspectives. And I come back to this a lot because it's so helpful. It has helped me in many different situations, including grief, especially with grief. And I think it's much more powerful, and it's based in reality. It's more ultimately more helpful. But if somebody is so distraught that they just aren't functioning, and having some kind of therapeutic interaction with their loved
Yeah.
one to maybe get closure, for example, sometimes there's something that you need, and it might not be grief, it could be anger at like a parent that you never really got closure with. In those cases, I think that something like that, and like, let's say there's something you need to tell a loved one who passed on. It's something you wanted to say, and you need that. People do go through therapy and get closure through a therapist's help. Without it, and that's what we've had to do. People have had to do up until anything like this came along. But I think as a therapeutic benefit, that could be good. What do you guys think about that aspect of it? I just think, Mark said, I don't know how to replicate every becomes an upload of something quintet. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Mark, can you clarify that? And what did Elise say that was interesting? Loved ones, I don't know, probably not, but a person who died and was abusive or other unresolved issues. See, that's exactly what I was saying. It could be for. That could be a very beneficial way in therapy. Right now, what people do is they're guided through it by a therapist who asks them to discuss it as though the other person was there. This would just make it easier to visualize it, to see it, and maybe to bring it out of you emotionally, which I
Yeah.
think could be very helpful. So, excuse me. In those cases, I think that kind of situation could be really good. Um, Grieving does take a long time, Scorpio. It does. It's a long-term process. It's not something you can rush.
And it's a unique process for everybody.
Absolutely, that's important. And I wouldn't tell somebody else what they should or shouldn't do that is helpful, that would be helpful for them. So
Yeah.
if someone like this mother, who was obviously really, really suffering, and even despite what the onlookers felt and thought, still seemed to get something out of it. I mean, who are we to tell her that that's not appropriate? And I think that there's going to be, I think technology is going to start offering a lot more stuff. But getting back to our perspective and understanding how reality works, where we are, what we're doing, it really is beneficial to understanding that this isn't the everything. This is one very small part of eternal existence, um, and it's not even this. This is one particular. It's not like you're the same person even in your next lifetime.
Yeah.
Or your past
And I think
lifetimes.
also when we're talking about AI and virtual reality and augmented reality and all of this different stuff, it kind of is showing us how we're interfacing. I like that word, interfacing with
Yeah.
reality, and kind of where we're going with our understanding of consciousness. And I know one thing I talked to you, Susan, about was if anybody's heard of Elon Musk's Neuralink program. I don't necessarily know for sure if it's his program or if he's working with a company. And Elon Musk aside, leaving him out of the equation, it's interesting to hear about the developments that's being made with technology. And for anybody who's unfamiliar with Neuralink, it's a small chip that they are working on to help with various different things like cognitive functions, helping people with Alzheimer's, dementia. But so far, they have placed a chip in the brain of a monkey. I think they did this last year or maybe the year before. And they had this monkey hooked up to a computer, and he was playing Pong with a joystick. And once the Neuralink chip mapped his electrical frequencies, the different neurons firing in his brain, they were able to map the patterns and then unplug the joystick. So he was playing Pong with just his mind.
It's
So
incredible.
it's incredible, but also scary a little bit, because it kind of, you have to ask the question, how far is the technology going to go? What's the limits of it? What are we using it for? Which I'm sure it has great benefits that, potentials. But also, I think we, like what I was saying before, we need to overlap our development of technology with an understanding and the science of consciousness and how they interface.
Yeah, well, see, these are two separate things. They're overlapping, but they're different actual end results. I mean, all of the augmenting, I think, is wonderful. And I think it's really a fascinating field. And you said, where's it going to end? I think it's really going to explode
Yeah.
with AI. I think it's going to be much faster than people can actually imagine. But that's still not the same thing as being able to take your consciousness, the you, and
Yeah.
put it into any kind of whatever technology that you might envision. And I'm sure people fantasize about all sorts of things. I mean, being able to have, it's not just being put into a computer somewhere, which is what I think this author kind of thinks at the end when he said you wouldn't have experiences in the world. I'm sure there's lots of people that are thinking about not only something very much looking like a human or something even more interesting, but it being actually having all of the different, senses and abilities, so that it's almost indistinguishable from what we have now. It's a very, very sophisticated kind of robot. But even so, if you just create that thing and do some kind of wiring or mapping or digitizing of what you think the brain processes is, that's not going to be conscious. It's not going to, I don't know how you get the you into that. So,
Right.
and I think when you said the understanding of consciousness, I think that what's going to happen is that as technology moves on, as they start learning more, the truth about what conscious, oh yeah, that's where I got distracted earlier when I was defining mind and consciousness. And that's another thing that really needs to be nailed down so that people can have conversations and know what they're actually talking about, know what these terms mean. So, we know that mind is the eternal component. Some people call it soul. It really doesn't matter. That's what it's referring to. That's the internal structure that exists, and the everything else, everything that we think of as material, is made from that, but is not. It has no internal consciousness itself. It's just something that we link to or interface with, that allows us to then have experiences in this in the holos, in this dimension.
And I love that word interface. It makes me think of not the last stream the Hyperion Source did, but the last one that I was in, where we took a look at cognitive scientist Donald Hoffman. And he's one of the first kind of, I guess you could call him an empiricist, who says that space-time is not fundamental and that consciousness is fundamental, and we are interfacing with space-time. So right then and there, you kind of see a shift in the way that people are understanding reality and how we are interfacing with everything that we experience. And so I think you have hit the nail right on the head when you're talking about what it is that we're uploading. It's not you. You can't do that. You can't put the consciousness into a machine or a computer and replicate that in the same way that we are eternally, which is eternal minds.
And I think that when you said where are we going with consciousness, and I keep thinking, well, we're getting there. I think what they're going to do is end up understanding what consciousness is, that it isn't something that comes from matter, that it is that matter comes from, well, not consciousness, from mind.
Hmm.
And then consciousness is the state of awareness that arises from mind. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think rather than technology actually working the way they think it's going to for transhumanism, it's going to be that the understanding of mind comes up and meets them. That's what I've been trying to say. We have
Yeah.
so many conversations going on. Let's take a look. I'm going to just scroll back a bit.
Okay.
Jan keeps saying that we need to see Chappie. I
I have
have,
seen
I
Chappie.
have
It
seen
was a good
Chappie.
movie.
I've seen it. I saw it a long time ago. Um, um, and okay, what's Laura saying? Um, until the stream. Okay, I don't know. I hope Mark is helping you with whatever that issue is, but um, I'm right there with you on when you were born. I was born in the 60s, and it's been, I mean, I was born when um, we had rotary phones. Like, I'm old, and you know, the phone in the kitchen had the really long cord, and you would walk around the kitchen talking to your friends. Yeah, but I
And
remember
Party
get
Lines.
I no, that's I was after party lines,
Oh, okay.
but I remember getting concert tickets and having to, wow, that's, how is that even possible? No, that couldn't have been. But I remember having to try to do the dialing really fast many times when you needed to do it. Um, and then we got the touch phones. Um, but oh, Scorpy said I saw the monkey playing the video game with the mind. Philip gave me two different articles,
Yeah.
or is one a video? But those two.
One is a video, but I think it also has a link to Neuralink and kind of what they're aiming for.
Okay,
You know.
I will go back and put those things in the, I never know what to put in the description when I'm making
Yeah.
a live stream. I will put those things in and you guys can go and look at the resources. Um,
You know,
so,
I don't like Elon Musk as a person, but with the
oh,
Neuralink thing, it's kind of interesting to see what they're aiming for, because I know they talk about improving cognitive abilities and, you know, restoring use of limbs that, you know, have lost, you know, have nerve damage, stuff like that, or restoring sight in people who are visually impaired. The different potentials for it are really interesting to hear about, but I think a lot of people are scared about it because whenever you talk about putting chips in your brain or, you know, merging with technology in any sort of way, people think, are people going to be able to take over those chips or read my thoughts or
yeah,
things like that? You know, so I
yeah.
think people do have a certain apprehension to technology in a way that they don't necessarily with like virtual reality, that you can put the goggles on and take the goggles off.
Yeah,
You know, this is something that you're actually merged with. It's implanted in your brain.
it's definitely going to go that way. If they can restore sight or,
Yeah.
you know, fix some, like some really serious issues, that's, it's going to happen. It's
Yeah.
absolutely going to happen. Because
And I
the,
think you also, not to interrupt, but I think you also have the apprehension from the religious, secular people, like what we were talking about before, you know, because they have that whole mark of the beast thing, you know, the
oh,
chip implanted in your head or your hand or whatever. So I think
yeah,
there's definitely open minded people, and then there's people who are very traditional minded with, you know, their religion that they've been brought up with and not
yeah,
as open to other possibilities and
yeah.
you know, thoughts about augmented reality.
I'm looking through the article, and I told this to you, Philip, which is really kind of surprising to me. There's a lot of good comments, and we're about to get to them. But in this article, it says that there is a Christian Transhumanist Association,
I
which,
remember you telling me that.
yeah, and it believes, among other things, that the quote, intentional use of technology coupled with following Christ can empower us to grow into our identity as humans made in the image of God. So, and these are transhumanists. So, you know, Christian transhumanists. So that's really,
Yeah.
it doesn't quite mesh. Again, not raised Christian, so I don't understand how they reconcile some things, but then again, Christianity has always confused me in many ways with a lot of the hypocrisy that it things that don't make sense. So
Jesus is going to come back as RoboCop.
you know, um, and did somebody say that?
No, I just said that.
Oh, what was the last word I said? I said, oh, you mean in the quote, Laura? It said transhumanism. Yes, it's
transhumanism.
One word, exactly what you typed, only all together. Transhumanism. And you can look it up, and I'll put the article link in there. So we get to become the batteries more.
Also, I saw Jan said that Elon Musk is not the actual innovator. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of brilliant scientific minds behind it, and he just kind of puts his rubber stamp of,
Jan
I'm Elon
said
Musk,
that.
I'm paying for this.
Yeah, Jan said that earlier, that oh, hi Melinda. Jan said that he just takes credit for a lot of those things. Melinda, I've missed you. It's good to see you. What have you been doing? Where have you been? Yes, watch the replay, but it's good to see you. I'm glad you hopped in. I hope you're busy with good things. And that you'll have time to come in come back to some of more extremes. Yeah, we've missed you. Lauren, you can't renew your membership. Oh, that's odd. That is odd. Hi, Isaiah. You said replace Jesus with first person player character. I don't know what you guys are talking about with Jesus and the Jesus thing. I missed that.
I don't know. That makes me think of that Jesus game that Morg played on their live stream.
Oh yeah.
The first person go and do the things.
That was,
which you would think is blasphemous in and of itself, but
yeah. Oh, Joanna said medical augmentations are going to be positive progress in the world of tech. Absolutely. What was terrifying, Kate? But I agree with you, Joanna. I think anything that's going to help people whose lives are negatively impacted by some condition they have are going to want to have that fixed. And I think probably the positive results of people who go through it and talk about it are going to then outweigh any of the fears that others have that they're suddenly going to, be taken over. There will be a lot of conspiracy theory stuff flying around. And Morg just did the, I think was that a secret? That was the secret, right? The secret live stream about the
AI.
Yeah. And but it's the AI possibly with the having negative aspects. Oh, let's go back to our poll. Wait a minute, where's the poll? Here it is.
Good night, Andy. Thanks for coming.
Oh, are you leaving, Andy? Good to see you. Our poll changed. I'm going to end the poll, but it changed. It went from no of 79% basically. 69 to 59. So it's like 60-40. I'm going to end it, but interesting. Again, I'm not making any judgment call on whether somebody should use that kind of technology, the VR, to help with healing of any sort.
No, I just kind of had a thought about that. It would be different for me. I think I would be more inclined to do it and to engage in the VR if it was more like if you could take home videos of somebody that you loved and kind of have it in a 3D sense. So you're kind of revisiting the memory, but you're not really interacting like kind of in a weird way, face to face with the person. Like if they could upload your home video and make it be like an environment that you could walk around in based on that video, that would be kind of cool because you're not directly interacting with the loved one.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. There's a lot of questions with that.
I look at just video that I took on my phone of my dad, for example. I have that. And, do I need more than that? I don't. I wouldn't want to have some sort of a VR face to face, I think that would disturb me much more. I'm much more at in an acceptance mode of and an understanding of what our relationship is and was on an eternal basis.
Yeah.
But I know that not everybody is there. Not everybody has that.
I
Um,
see Lee says, Philip, like a vision of the past, clairvoyance. And then Isaiah also said augmented reality ghosts. I guess both of those things are kind of accurate in the sense of what I was talking about, of being able to walk around in the environment and kind of see a 3D past event, but not interacting or changing or having conversations with people that were there.
yeah,
Yeah, it's really
yeah,
interesting. Interesting to think about.
yeah.
And
Augmented.
everybody's different with their thoughts on grief and thoughts on reflecting on the past and different aspects of their life. It's different for everybody.
Um, Laura, you don't see Isaiah? You could. Are you on live chat or top chat? I don't know why they wouldn't be showing up. Um, but oh, I agree with you, Lee. And we're happy to be here tonight because um, we had missed, especially having Philip here,
Yeah,
and
nice to be back. Nice to see everybody.
yeah. Um, oh, yes, Mark. That was what Philip. Isn't that what you were talking about?
Yeah,
The
the
eerily.
animated photographs,
Yes, yes,
especially for like an old widower or somebody or a widow who lost their spouse and they see the video or the photo, but it's been digitized so that it can move, and smile and stuff like that. It's not exactly virtual reality, but I know what you're talking about. And I know you said it kind of gives you the willies, but you see a lot of videos of people just absolutely very emotional at seeing their loved one just moving again or smiling again. And
yeah.
something that could give one person the willies might be really special to see again for another person whose loved one maybe died a long, long time
And
ago.
there's no video available. I wish I had more
Yeah.
video of my dad.
I know people also say, from times where they didn't have a lot of photos or videos, a lot of people say sometimes they start to forget their face if they don't have a lot of photos, and maybe seeing that photo move maybe strikes some memories that they've forgotten about. I don't know. Like I said, it's unique for everybody, the grieving process and remembering.
Scorpy said, I can think back to a moment in great detail and it becomes very real to you, to me, meaning you. Is that some people have a really, really like heightened gift in a way of being able to bring something into their forefront of their mind and almost relive it. I mean, some people have that very, very rare condition where they can
Yeah.
absolutely relive it, but I think some people have the ability for their memories to become very, very strong. They can see, Elise has the same thing. Um, but oh, pictures are important. Yeah, I agree. I don't know that I would need um any kind of VR thing. I have in my office over there, I have my dad, and right up there I have somebody that we're going to mention right now because we're getting close to the end of this one. And I know I saw some blue dragons that went through earlier, so I know what that was about. For those of you who have been around a long time, um, and Cassidy, yeah, just doing it. Cassidy just did it again. It's a year ago today. Well, actually, early tomorrow morning, that we at the Hyperion Source lost one of our dearest friends and colleagues, and we miss her every day. This was Carrie, for those of you who know, and yeah, and it was a year ago in just a few hours that I talked to her husband, and we've had this. This is, I think, a very appropriate time for this topic. We didn't plan it, but to be able to remember Carrie for everything she did for us. She did so much.
Um,
One of the things that a lot of the people who watch our videos remember Carrie for doing her video editing. And I have her picture here, and I have my dad's there, and you know, they're it's a very important for me. So anybody who agrees that having pictures around really helps them, I agree with you. I'm one of those people. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you very much.
yeah,
Um,
she was a super special friend, and I think it's really special that we still have some live streams with you and her on this channel that we can go
yeah,
back and,
yeah. If
hear her voice and see her talking.
you
And,
can, you
she was really special to all of us.
you guys can go and look there. It's there. I think it's the one about why can't I be God? Oh no, is that it? Was that
There's two.
the one? Okay. I can't yet, but at some point, I mean, I was listening to some voice messages the other day, and that kind of put me over. So one of these days, I will be able to look. But um, uh, thank you, Kate. That's so sweet of you. Um, this community is this community is really important and so supportive, and just it's just a wonderful community. Yes, it was a year ago, Laura, and uh, oh, I'm so sorry, Lauren, with your brother. I'm sure we could, yeah, thank you, Cassidy. I knew that you knew because I saw your post the other day. This it's grief is a really, really big topic. And I was saying to Philip earlier, we could do we've done live streams on
Yeah.
grief and talking about it. And if there's a time when you guys want to do another one, and we can certainly talk about it more. It's sometimes it's definitely a process, and sometimes you don't sort of grok something the first time you hear it, but you learn and you grow, and you hear something again, and then it clicks and makes sense. So I know when we talk about the different perspectives, the avatar and monadic perspectives specifically, getting out of avatar mode can be unbelievably, yes, Pooks, healing together, can be unbelievably helpful. And I think that sometimes you just hear those words and you don't understand really what it means to go
Mhm.
into a monadic perspective where you see the bigger picture. But it really, really is. And we could talk about that at another point if you guys, because I know that this is a very, very deep subject. Yeah, I feel that too, Jan. I don't know what it means exactly in what format, but I feel energy. I feel that there is, and that could be in my own mind. It could be sort of a collective unconscious aspect of it. I always felt that I knew Carrie from before. So
Yeah.
she was one of those people who I felt I had, this was not the first time we experienced.
Yeah, there
Um,
was a deep connection there.
yeah,
She was a really special person.
yeah. And yeah, Jan, you can say that. So oh, dreams. Dreams are definitely another way to work through a lot of grief, a lot of feelings with that. And in fact, we're going to be doing stuff on dreams pretty soon.
Yeah,
Don't want
got
to,
some stuff coming up.
yeah, we have some stuff coming up on dreams and dream work. Um,
And if you want, maybe we can
I
talk
agree,
about that.
Mark.
Do you want to do a supporters only stream? We were going to ask them how they felt.
Yeah, okay. So you guys, do you feel like doing a secret stream after this one? Um, we don't really have anything specific to talk about, but we do have a artwork thing that was going on that I haven't forgotten about and would like to be able to um, come to some decisions about. And but there's no urgency, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to forget about it. Um, yeah, Elise, yeah, thoughts and symbolism, all of these things are good. I think when we start getting into, yeah, Lee, I have not forgotten because I still want that piece of art. I want that. And I know that we also have from something from Pooks and something from Elise. So we had three. As long as we can still get those in high quality res for printing on things. I think putting it on a t-shirt, possibly a mug, something that's popular. Um, Aw, you're
Oh,
so
as
sweet, Laura.
prototypes.
Yeah, just always a yes to hang out more. Um, oh, and Mark, you have the thank goodness. Okay, good for yeah, that's good. So you want Hegel back. I'm very good. We have books and legacy circle. What's Hegel? You want Hegel back? That's something that's not. Yeah, I know you forgot about it, Ren. I think a lot of people did. I didn't because, yes, I still do. Yeah, we have three. And what we really need to do, maybe I won't show them tonight. I need to grab them, be able to put them on screen, show everybody, and then, yeah, that's what we're talking about. It's not going anywhere. We're going to do it and pick it, and the person whose one we use is getting a free something. Like
Yeah.
I'll just get one and send it to you.
T-shirt or something.
Yeah, yeah, a t-shirt or a mug or something. Um, I I absolutely I thought they were all really good. I love them all. You guys are going to vote. I started.
And I think Joanna also did something too, or did you just post a few bits of Quokka art on your profile? I think I saw something.
Oh well, we need like official submissions, but it
Yeah.
has to be. It can't just be drawn little on a tablet or something. It has to be where you can make it big.
Scale it up.
Yeah, where you can scale it. They are so cute. I only know one person who says they're so cute that they're freaky. That person shall not be named, but I don't understand it because they are the cutest fucking things. And no bitmapped
You haven't
images.
thrown up
Oh,
your Quokka picture yet either. Your coughing
I
Quokka.
haven't put it up. I did cough a few times, but where is it? Oh, here he is. Come down here. Come down. I had to. I always have to re.
Mandatory Quokka.
There he is. Yeah, that's for Cassidy. Um, and okay, let me go back to here. So, all right, I need another. Here, I'm back. Okay. I always click things and then we get all these lines or everything. All right, are we going to? Yeah. Okay. So no bitmap images. I don't even know what I need. Do I need a I'm Susie. I was coughing. I wasn't, but I always have to put the picture up. For Cassidy. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I don't know what size even. I'm so bad with the artwork because I didn't do it for Carrie did it for our logo. Carrie did our logo, and oh thanks Elise, and oh Mistress Angelica got it. I don't know if she's in here. Is she in here tonight? And Joanna did do a quokka. Yeah, JPEGs are better. I don't know, Laura. You know what? I'm not the person to ask. Somebody who knows about artwork. I think PNGs are good. I think. Oh, here we go. Listen to Mark. He knows what he's doing. So at a minimum, a high quality PNG file with transparent background, absolutely transparent background, please. And then it can, yeah, PNG is best. Jan said it. So, I mean, that's what I always use when I'm making like emojis and things. But it needs to be able to be scalable. So it can't just be this little thing. Mark is the go-to person. Yeah, talk to Mark. I do graphics, but for smaller things on when I wanted to, make something big, Mark was the one who helped us out with that. So, who wants to run over to a secret, or do you want to just stay here? I don't know. I can easily throw up a secret link. I didn't put one up, but I could do it. let you join. That you want to go in? Yeah, you of course. So yes,
Yeah, we might as well because
are we
we'll
doing
probably have
it?
to take a short break.
Okay, that that's a that's a signal for we need to go and use the loo. We're gonna go use the loo, and so we're gonna cut this off. I'm going to go and put up the link for the secret. We'll be in a few minutes. Everybody go get drinks and pee and do all that stuff, and then look on the community board on YouTube, and the
Right.
link will be there. Okay. All right. All right. So yes, we're doing it. We're doing it. So we'll be in a few minutes. Okay. Um, yeah. Listen. Look what Elise just said. Okay. So good night. We will see you in the secret, or the next time we go live, and we may try to do it in a couple of weeks, or again in the month. We're trying to do it as often as we can, but our lives are a little bit still kind of crazy. So we're doing, yeah, go get drinks, do your thing. Thanks, Morg. And
Thank you very much.
yeah, and we will meet you over in the secret. Okay. All right, bye, you guys.
See you later.